Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a Bachmann brand new release of the HO Siemens Venture passenger car. This is the first release of this car, the first model of it in HO scale. This is a pretty fresh car on the actual rails with Amtrak and Amtrak Midwest. So let's see what you get in this brand new Amtrak Midwest coach, the Siemens Venture passenger car, starting right now. So we're down to one for the unboxing here. Here's the Bachmann box. I'll give you a look at that since they have kind of changed recently. You can see the back of the box and then of course the item number there. And there are several options, I think 4 or 5 total for coaches. And there's no actual paperwork or anything, it's just this plastic sleeve and no front to the plastic sleeve, so the car is kind of pinched in here and held by these little plastic bracket areas with some soft plastic. On the back are some couplers, and I'll talk about those in a minute. Those are close couplers, so those will be used to swap out with your knuckle couplers if you want the diaphragms closer together, look more realistic. What I've noticed is it's about half an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch gap without those couplers, and with those couplers you're looking at an 1/8 of an inch gap in between the diaphragms. All right, so the car itself, Amtrak Midwest logo on the center, detailed interior with window gaskets, even window separation you can probably see right there in between. On the bottom of the car, as we flip it over, you can see some of the equipment. You see the Bachmann logo. You do see marker light on this end here. Marker light switches on this end. I'll go over that in a moment. As you can see, you can also see some molded in conduit and stuff. The floor of the car, the structure of the car is molded into the bottom, but these compartments, these little separately applied details are separately applied, so these things are not just part of a single mold. As we look at the diaphragm end, you see a couple of different things. There's a door with door latches molded in, window gaskets in the window, MU receptacles on the end, stirrups for access for the passengers, including this area right here, which is a little step that protrudes out when that door opens. That's in the stowed position, as you're usually going to be having these run by. There's a little grab iron here that's separately applied, that's streamlined with the body pretty well. And here's the marker lights. We were talking about the marker light switch location on the bottom. There's a little hatch you pop up on top, and you can turn on marker lights on any of these. So that is a nice feature, and those are DCC compatible. More of the same detail on this side. You can see more of that underbody detail. I believe these are like air conditioning units or something to help with airflow on the car. I could be wrong. Looking at the top, speaking of air, you've got fans on each side, which is a nice detail, and a metal grating and appearance area on each side of those fans. And then you've got the corrugated roof with these little kind of vents. I believe these are roof vents located throughout. You can even see some rivet detail along the side of the diaphragm. So let's say you want to turn the marker lights on. You locate the marker light end of the car as written there. And then on the top of the car, you're going to pop this little hatch here with something flat. Try not to scratch it up, because this is a very thin little hatch. And it pops off. Make sure you don't lose the piece. Inside are two switches, so you can either get those with your thumbs or whatever, and you turn those switches. I'm going to use this flathead screwdriver I used to pop off the top. You can have one light on, you can have both lights on. It's nice that it's individually figured out that way, and then you're good to go. Now once that is back on in the switch location that you prefer, you just pop the hatch back on. It's a press fit piece and you're good to go. There's a nice close-up look at these fans. Maybe hard to see, not very legible, but it does say exit on there. They seem fairly clear and legible to the naked eye. I just know that I'm zoomed in so far from the distance from where the camera is that you may not be able to see it very well. You also see coach, and the number, coach class, is written on the side. The number of these cars are written on the car, so just giving you kind of a look-see, a little closer in on these cars before we move forward. You also see the coupler cut lever that is right there, the tip of my finger. Metal coupler cut lever on those. Last but not least, you can see the three covers and three colors of MU receptacle there at the bottom of your screen. You got black, blue, and white on each side. Those are different connection points for the cars. All right, we're going to weigh this car. Comes in at 5.8 ounces. As you can see there, 164 grams. The length of this car is 11 3/4 inches. That's just the car body, not including coupler to coupler. If you include coupler to coupler, just for your information, it's right at 12 1/8 inches. So at 11 3/4 inches, the NMRA for weight says that each car should have a weight of an initial ounce and then half an ounce for each inch. So with a total of should be about 7 ounces. So it's a little less than that, obviously, but I don't know if that necessarily applies to passenger equipment because it's so long in terms of truck to truck. And with that said, I don't know if that really applies, but they do have decent weight to them. I don't think they'll rock, but we'll take a look at that. I'm hiding a car, a well car, and I've got this foam here so that you can better see the trucks and the detail. You can see that big cushion in the center of the trucks. These are unique trucks, you know, very, very modern, obviously, and that helps with the ride for the passengers, obviously. And you can get a good look at the interior of the car as well from here. Interior with seating and tables. There's a table there poking out below the Amtrak Midwest logo in that window and chair. So overall, really nice car. Okay, we're checking coupler height here. That appears to be dead on that end. And on this end, a little low, but you can see there that that one is sitting low. All right, as you can see, the marker lights, you can see the interior lights. I think the camera exposure is going to be too bright for you to see much interior detail, but we showed that already with the lights on. You can see a little bit of it there. And that is your coach all lit up at night. If I shine some light on it, it does better show that interior so you can see it a little better, including the chairs there and an occasional table like there in the center that we mentioned. Under the Amtrak logo, you can see those tables in there as well. Here's a quick look with the lights on. You still have a noticeable interior light there, and noticeable rear marker lights illuminated. All right, one quick note about the marker light switch. You saw the 1 and 2, and I mentioned that earlier. But 1 and 2 is actually whatever end you want on. If you turn both on, they're going to be lit on both ends. If you turn one on, it'll be lit on one end, and vice versa. So you can decide to have both ends lit or whichever end lit you want, and all of these are equipped that way. So in terms of rolling, pretty good. If you do rock, you know, you get a interruption of track power, so I don't know if there's any capacitor in there per se, but it's not flickering really bad. I know this track is not the cleanest because I have recently reballasted and cleaned it, but I've ran some things since, but I'm not getting a whole lot of flicker. You get a little bit if one of the trucks raises off the track, but we'll see on the run by. I'll pick a nice location with several of these, a location that's kind of known to be dirty, and we'll see if we get any flicker. In terms of drag, not a whole lot of drag. I think you're going to be fine. These consists are pretty short anyway. I think we've seen 5 to 8 cars on consists, so you won't have a problem with drag regardless. So they roll free rolling enough to not have a problem. A little bit of body wobble, but not much. Like I said, they're kind of wide stanced in between truck distances, so I don't know if the NMRA weight applies really, but it's got a decent weight to it.
Many of the products you see in this video are available at trainworld.com. Since 1968, this family-owned business has been serving the needs of the modeling community with 2 New York brick-and-mortar store locations in Brooklyn and Long Island, plus their vast array of online items. Shop 24/7 at trainworld.com.